All right, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. I'm really excited about this one. For those of you who don't know my guest, you need to Google him, look him up. He is a very, very successful entrepreneur, and he resides in the Texas area. And, being that our time is short here, I'm going to turn it over to him because he's got so much to share. And what a story that Levi has. And Levi, I am humbled that you are here today. And go for it, my man.
Well, thanks, Frank. Is there anything you wanted me to cover in particular? You mentioned some questions you had, or?
Well, I think if you could just give us about a 5-minute brief background on yourself. Excuse me, I got neighbor dogs barking, so I'm going to have to move inside. A brief background on yourself and how this all came about and how you're just killing it with YouTube.
Yeah, so I mean, the short story is I had a very successful financial services business for about 5 years after, having a couple of different jobs, you could say, after the military. And once I started a financial services company and started working with teachers on their retirement planning at the schools in Dallas. And so I had a contract with Dallas ISD, which is very lucrative because they only approve a few people to be able to do that. So I was able to go on campus, work and meet with teachers, and then I would help set them up on retirement plans and, through payroll deduction and things like that. So I had a teacher schedule and 5 times the teacher's income. So it was very lucrative and at the same time, a good time. So the 3 years leading up to 2020, I traveled to 24 countries because I had summers off. I had 2 weeks off for Christmas, a week off for Thanksgiving. I mean, every 4-day weekend that the schools take off, I had a 4-day weekend. So I was loving life and having a good time, making really good money. And then 2020 happened, COVID happened, April, and all of the schools shut down in Dallas. And, so therefore my business and then travel, of course, shut down as well. So there I was, the 2 things that I did the most, which was work on campuses and travel, were just gone in an instant. And so I was sitting there asking myself, well, what's the next move? Because I had no idea what the future held. I had no idea where school's going to open back up. Would people really want to invest in their retirement? I mean, a lot of people were calling me about pulling money out of their accounts versus adding money to it. So, that whole fear set in for that time frame, and we just had no idea when the end in sight was. So I realized I probably needed to make a change or a pivot and, think about doing something else. The reality is that I never wanted to be a real estate agent. I've got some really good friends that are real estate agents, and they've been agents for a long time. And I know how hard they work. I know how agents, how difficult it is to get off the ground. And that's really the case for any business owner, any entrepreneur, but, real estate agents as well. It's difficult because you have to build that sphere. You have to, generate some business. Most of the time, most agents start out with not a lot of money to their name. And so it's one of the things that it's very difficult. And I understood that. Plus, I was 41 years old at that time. And at 41, I just had zero desire to start over or to, try to build a network or cold call or door knock or all those things associated with real estate. So even though I had some really good friends who are very successful, they've been in the game for 15, 17 years. So I was kind of like, let me find out a couple of different ways to generate some business. Now I had some cash saved up, and over that summer of 2020, I invested. I want to say invested. It was kind of like a combination of invested and spent just over $200,000, about $220,000 of my own money into a couple of different Amazon stores, some courses, some mentorships. I was trying to figure out basically what could I do without being a real estate agent is the irony of it. And so the funny thing is that the Amazon stores crashed and burned. Amazon changed all of their rules. Like as soon as I invested in those 2 stores, they were based off of a proven business model that Amazon hadn't really changed for the last several years, but COVID changed everything. So that upended both of those opportunities. And I ended up just losing about 160,000 of that money just on those 2 stores. The courses that I went through, the mentorships, I went through this mentorship. They were teaching me how to do training programs and build courses, but I was like, I don't have a product. I don't have anything to sell anybody. So I didn't see the relevance in that. Although later on down the road, it was worth it, but I didn't see the value at that time. And then I bought a couple of real estate investment courses because I was thinking, well, I've always liked real estate. I did some real estate on the side as a part-time side hustle here and there. I'd done a few fix and flips. I had 7 rentals at one time, had some Airbnb. So I liked it. I just never earned a full-time income from it. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just go into investing full-time instead of being an agent. But what I learned in those investment courses, the first thing they start teaching you is how to cold call, how to door knock, how to find distressed sellers, how to prospect really is what it came down to. I mean, you have to generate leads in the investment business as well. And it's not like you just open up a website and everybody comes to you. So I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, maybe I should just become an agent. And since I've got some really good friends that are successful agents, maybe they could take me under their wing and maybe that is the path of least resistance. But I still didn't want to do things the traditional way. So I was really keeping an eye out and researching over the summer of 2020 as well. How would I generate business? If I became a real estate agent, how would I attract business? And that's the thing is that most people, I think, get into real estate and then they try to figure out a plan. And I was just opposite. I was saying, well, if I can figure out a plan that gives me, some sort of clarity on how to attract business, then I'll get into real estate. So that's what I did. I just put in some research, and the word attraction was really interesting to me because my friend actually was Michael Reese. And I've known Michael Reese for 20 plus years. We sold gym memberships together at Valley Total Fitness before he got into real estate. And we've been friends for the last 20 years. And he's the one that's been trying to get me into real estate for the last 20 years. But, he was talking to me about EXP. And he was like, look, man, you can just get into EXP. He goes, I know you'll be great at attraction, bringing agents to the business. He's like, you don't have to do any production. And I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. And I know I can do anything I put my mind to, but it just didn't feel right to me. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to really have the credibility or the rapport to be able to attract agents to a company. And I haven't even sold a home. So I thought maybe I'll figure out a way to sell homes. And then that would help me at least, to be able to say, hey, I've sold a couple of homes. You should check out EXP. So that was kind of how that all started, but I didn't want to do things traditionally. So I just started researching. I started looking to all the social platforms. None of them really set well with my personality, but YouTube was the last choice because most people weren't talking about YouTube. And whenever I discovered it was a search engine versus a social platform, then I thought, okay, maybe that is something that appeals to me, that people are actually searching on YouTube, looking for answers and information. And it painted a picture for me that I could be provide good information about Dallas, which I've lived in Dallas for 20 plus years. And I know a lot about Dallas. I didn't know how to be a good real estate agent or how to write a contract, or I couldn't tell you the difference between FHA and a conventional loan, but I've known Dallas. And whenever I realized that people are searching those things on YouTube, it made me realize, well, maybe if I just talk about suburbs and neighborhoods and communities and things to do and school districts and stuff like that, and if that's what people are searching, maybe that would draw them to me. So that's where I kind of built out that plan and built out a business plan. So after I researched the platform for a couple of months, then in really about 60 days, which I believe you can hyperlearn any subject in 60 days with the amount of information out there right now, blogs, vlogs, Google, YouTube, audiobooks, podcast. I mean, the information is endless on any particular subject. 20 years ago, it'd probably be very hard to earn money as a seamstress, there's something weird like that, sewing. But now you could have a sewing YouTube channel with millions of views. I used to feel sorry for the shoe shine guy at the airport. And that was my own ignorance, right? I would walk by the shoe shine guy. Usually they're always standing around, not a lot of clients. And I've gotten my shoe shined a couple of times on business trips. You walk over there and they charge you 10 or 12 bucks. And I'm just thinking, how many shoes do you have to shine a day to even earn a decent living here? I mean, you got to think about that and how many people actually stop. But then I came across a YouTube channel that had 1.5 million subscribers. And all he did was put a camera above shoes, and he would, and he just shines shoes, and he has, endorsement deals, brand deals, things like that, earning 6 figures a year. And so that's also, shifted my mindset to go, okay, you know what? There's something here. People are searching and looking for this information. And so therefore, once I started to create videos on YouTube, then that's what happened from there, is that people found those videos because they were researching those topics. They found value in those videos. It made me look like I wasn't a residential real estate expert for the last 20 years, only because I've lived in Dallas for 20 years. And I was able to talk about my neighborhoods and suburbs because I've driven all around. I've got friends in every community. I mean, I've just done it through experience. And so I just talked about those experiences and what I knew and what I liked and what maybe they should look out for. And that's the information that people are looking for. And so the phone started to ring, and not a single person ever asked me, how long have I been in business? How many homes have I sold? Am I a top producer? Which brokerage am I with? They didn't care about any of that. They just felt that I had a good knowledge of the area, and that's what made them comfortable. And so that's why they started to give me a call. And by the end of my first year in real estate in 2021, we had closed 64 transactions, 33.5 million in volume and 1 million in commissions in my first year. And then the second year, it just completely compounded just from the channel. This is not even counting referrals and Sphere that we did in the second year. We closed over 86 million from the channel. There's about 156 transactions in the second year, and 2.3 million in commissions. And then this year through August, I've just ran the numbers through August, but we've still closed over 1 million in GCI this year through August with 7+% interest rates the entire year. So, that's the funny thing now is people are always asking, well, how's it going this year, right? Because this year sucks and the market sucks. Well, guess what? People are still out there buying and selling homes every single day. It's just a matter of whether they find you or not. So I truly believe the most visible agent is going to win in this market because buyers and sellers are still out there. They're still doing transactions, but how are they going to find you? And if you're not going to do it on video, then you need to be the most visible agent on the phone. You need to be the most visible agent at networking events. You need to be the most visible agent at open houses. Just sitting back and hanging out at the house or going to, an office or something it's just not going to cut it. You're going to have to be the most visible agent so people can find you, find value in what you're providing. And then that's going to create the opportunities that they'll reach out and give you a call. So, we're the most visible because we've got the most videos on YouTube. And the thing is now over the last 3 years, I just checked yesterday, I've got 400 videos on the channel. And I'm like, wow, it doesn't seem like it. I've just been staying consistently putting in the work, a couple of videos, 2 to 3 videos every single week. And that's it. So that has compounded into 400 videos. And guess what? That is 400 of me. That's like having a 400-person sales team that can prospect for me 24 hours, 7 days a week. And that's what's going on right now. So if you've ever said to yourself, man, I wish there was just more of me, well, make a video. If you make a video, then there's going to be 2 of you. If you make another video, there's 3 of you. If you make a 4th video, there's 4 of you, right? And so that's the thing is like, Frank reached out. He said he knows I'm busy, but I said yes. Why? Because I actually do have time. I have time because I'm not worried about calling for 2 or 3 hours every single day. I'm not worried about going out and having to shake hands and kiss babies or give everybody in the Starbucks line my business card. I've never done that. I've never made a single cold call. I've never knocked on a door. I haven't even sent out a single postcard. And so all of this has been attraction-based marketing. And people have come to us. Everything we get is inbound, people reaching out to us, wanting to do business with us. And that's the great thing is that when people consume your content and they call you, then they've already made the decision that they want to work with you. So they're the easiest clients to work with. We have a great time. We have the same personalities because like attracts like. And so, if you're a little crazy, you're going to attract a little crazy. You know, if you're wearing a suit and tie all the time in your content, you're probably going to attract, suit and tie type of people. If you're t-shirts and polos like me, I get the average Joe, we get the 3 to $1.3 million buyers all the time, all the time. And so,
So Levi, I'm going to let you take a breath for a minute because you've been talking this time. First of all, for those who don't know anything about Levi, you should really Google him and check it out. And first of all, Levi, thank you for your service. You were in Iraq and you came back kind of messed up, but that's a whole nother subject. But I think with the time remaining, I would like for you to promote what you're doing to help real estate agents and how could we help you, and fill us in on what's going on.
Yeah, can you let me share my screen, and I'll just share something real quick with y'all.
Chris?
You have the floor, Levi.
Okay. Let's see if I got it here. And here's something else. The funny thing is I always tell people, I'm like, look, a lot of people have reservations about making video. And I'll just tell you this, you don't get to skip this step. So I started making some videos about 10 years ago on YouTube, had no idea. I was actually documenting my health journey at that time, but I had no idea what I was doing. You can tell here, my head's cut off. I've got a thermostat in the background. I'm not thinking about backgrounds or positioning, or, Frank commented before we got on the call. He's like, man, your background looks so awesome. It's just like, well, it's just kind of like an evolution of how things have started. But I did what most people do. I made a few videos, didn't get a lot of traction, and then I quit because I didn't understand what I was doing. So, and so that's the thing, is like, whenever I came into doing this, I was very intentional about what I wanted to do. And so if you're on your phones, if not, this is a free book if you wish. This is our book, Passive Prospecting, that we published, and you can get a copy there. And then also there's going to be an opportunity once you download the free book. We're running a 2-day event actually next week. So I realize that's short notice for people here, but we're running a 2-day event where we're going to be walking you through step by step over those 2 days, quite a bit of everything that we're working on and how we're doing it and how you can do it in your business too. So you'll have the book, you can get a ticket there. It's only $47 as well. And and we're going for 6 hours, each day for 2 days. So it's a lot. It's a very active workshop, step-by-step guide tutorial about everything we're doing. So that's what we're working on right now. And so I would say, yeah, get a copy of the book, attend our workshop next week. If you can't make the times or you can't stay the entire time, there is an option to upgrade to get the recordings. And I think that is well worth, actually, I know that is well worth the value in itself. So that would be something that I would recommend.
Awesome. Well, I have to tell you, Levi, I don't know if you remember, but the first time I met you in Texas, and Brent caught me on a way going to lunch with you. And he says, hey, Frankie, baby, what are you doing? He goes, you're coming to lunch with me. And I know I sat across the table from you.
Yep.
And he was just sharing kind of what you've done. You've kind of gone from 0 to hero in probably 2 to 3 years. And this is how you're making your money. And I know tons of people that are doing videos, and they're becoming more and more doing videos. So they've almost got it 50% completed if you're doing that already. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're already making videos, or you've made a few videos, then that's usually what people struggle with getting started. So this is just going to give you the outline, the guideline, the blueprint of what to do and how to execute it properly.
Okay. All right. Is there any questions out from the audience so far before I continue? We got some people on here. Remember, this is going out on Facebook Live, and also please Google Levi Lascsak. And Levi, can you, there you go. I love that. And what about to get a hold of you? What is the best email address to get a hold of you? Because I know you're so busy, you have an assistant, and just where can they go to look more about you?
Yeah, Instagram's a good spot. That's funny. I mean, you can check out our YouTube channels. You know, we have a passive prospecting YouTube channel. I've got a passive prospecting podcast. Passive prospecting is on Audible as well. So there's more than one opportunity to be able to, absorb the information. And if you go to book.passiveprospecting.com/free, then you can download a copy of the book for free. And then, you can go from there. So there's more than, and you can find me on Workplace too. If you're within EXP, then find me on Workplace, and I'm practically everywhere. So
Yeah. When is your next scheduled next big time you're going to be speaking around the United States?
So I kind of just got done with the tour this year, and so right now the next scheduled one is going to be Cabo, Mexico in March. Right now, it's the first time in the last 2 years I've had basically it'll be about a 3-month break as of right now. But things usually come up last minute. I typically get invited places, So I don't know, but as of right now, March 2024 in Cabo, Mexico is the next scheduled event, for speaking. And I'm actually looking forward to kind of just hanging back, get a re-grip, you could say, or reevaluate the business. It's a good time to reflect and look at, okay, everything we've done over the last couple of years, how can we improve over because I've been jumping time zone to time zone, every other week
Right.
for the past 2 years almost. And so it's a lot. I'm good. I'm looking forward to the break. I'll just say that.
Okay. What do you do in your spare time?
Exercise, and well, that's usually every day, but spare time, I do a little bit of reading, not too much. I typically read 10 to 20 minutes a day. So again, it's all just like small bits and pieces. And then
Okay.
I do like off-road bicycling, mountain biking, riding the bike there as well. And, anything active, really, hiking, water sports, those types of things.
Okay, good. Levi, we're coming to a close because I don't want us to get cut off. I want to thank you just for saying yes. I took a chance because I know you're very popular. You speak all around the United States, and you deserve a huge business, what you're going through, not only, being a veteran and all that kind of stuff, but you're just a great giving person. And I'm really blessed to know you. I really, really am. And I look forward to seeing you in Cabo very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank. I appreciate it.
No problem. And thanks for the information. Hey, everybody, next week, we are not going to be having a Tech Tuesday. I think there's this holiday coming up, so we're going to take a short, brief break away. But anyway, everybody have a great day. Check out Levi Lascsak, Google him, and look at his story. It's pretty phenomenal. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks.